Good
Welcome, Anna.
morning. Such a pleasure and honor to be here, Sigrun. Hello.
Well, I just feel so great to talk to you because you were one of our first students in the very, very first round when we didn't even call it Kickstart yet.
Yeah.
And it was just a kick in the butt program because I was frustrated. And so take us back before we talk about that experience. Take us back to the time before you knew about SOMBA or me. You were a coach. What were you doing?
Well, I was my let's say career was in marketing. I was for a long time marketing manager at Heineken, and it was a great time. And then circumstances changed, and I got more and more exhausted. And yeah, it didn't feel right, but I didn't recognize it at that time. So burnout helped me, and I did a sabbatical, and I wanted to make that sabbatical, give it more sense. So I did a coaching training, really extensive one. And then I started as a beginner, first with two others doing the seminars our training institute was providing us in Berlin. And then I started my own coaching. At the same time, I was also a yoga teacher, and I had a second business with yoga with a partner. So I kind of was changing, between heads, being yoga teacher, being coach. Everyone was a little bit confused because the yoga was also a little bit outshining my coaching business. Yeah. But here I was having a room in Berlin. And let's say I was like, you want to change, you have a goal, so come to me. So I wasn't really clear also on my positioning back then. And and I felt, okay, my yoga partner and I, we started with like the yoga being a side business. So my main business was supposed to be coaching, but actually, even though I was a corporate marketing person, I actually had no marketing. I had no email list. People kind of came from my bigger, circle of friends, someone who knew me and said, well, she's good, so go to her. Yeah. But I wasn't using email. I was just basically trying to sell my time. Mm-hmm. And my attention was a lot. I was really busy because of those two businesses. And I decided I need to change. I need more focus on my coaching business. And then I found you. And through Facebook, so I knew no one who was knowing you. It was really, I was seeing you in Iceland on the retreats, and I loved the way how you were kind of having the group by the side, and you were talking in the camera and explaining what you're doing with the group, and I was fascinated and thought, well, okay, she's not American, she's a little bit more European than those other business mentors, and I decided to have you as a mentor, and then we started with that Momentum program.
So you first joined SOMBA. That was the program I used to have, and maybe through these interviews we have confused a few people. They say, what is SOMBA and what is Kickstart? And I'm like, it's one program today. But back in 2017-18, I had a program called SOMBA. It was a 1-year online business program. But the problem was that it had a lot of content and people were not taking so much action. So I came up with SOMBA Summer School in the summer of 2018. And we have interviewed a couple of people who participated, and you did that in 2018 as well, which is so beautiful to see years later what such a beginning can do for somebody.
Absolutely.
So you participated, you were ready to jump in. Did you want to create an online course?
Well, we first changed the price structure for my one-to-one, and then you came up because you were saying, okay, here's the summer, and don't tell me, everyone, there's no business, there is business, and I'm going to show you. And I was like, no, I'm going on summer vacation. I can't do it. In the last, it was really the last hour, I was like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
And really it changed everything. So you're infusing really like a broad scaled mentality, and that's so great. It was working with you, it became not only being a coach, but feeling like an entrepreneur. And so it was like a logical step to say, well, I have to scale my business, and online makes sense. But actually, even though, I was really successful, it's a little bit strange talking about it, but I was successful. I was, also in corporate, I was extroverted, I was presenting, but it was something else, and being by yourself. And the idea to really stand up in front of a big group by yourself in like a technical environment, you don't know, being in corporate, everything is really structured. You have your persons and you're kind of delegating, and now you're all by yourself and really feeling like a beginner. And being anxious of failure, being anxious to expose yourself is huge. And so I was also really limiting myself and was like, oh my God, I can't do it. I remember that I was going into SOMBA, into that Kickstart, and was saying, well, okay, I'm going to do it, but I don't want more than 20 people in my group.
Exactly. That was your thing. You said, I just want a small group of people. And I was like, no. Because, even though back then the plan was not to make an upsell, I didn't even have the idea myself. But in my mind, that's not a scalable business, a group with 20 people. And we know I know when it's free, only a portion of the 20 will actually do the work. So it's all a numbers game. And it's kind of like having to convince the students to say, no, go for bigger numbers, go for 100. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Anna, 100, come on.
Come on. But I want to touch a little bit before we talk about your Kickstart course and all the amazing things that have happened since then. You mentioned something very important. Being successful in the corporate world, in your previous job, marketing manager, Heineken, you were basically repeating my story. And I was like, oh yeah, that was me. So I was a successful CEO for 10 years. Of various small, medium-sized businesses. And then starting an online business, it feels like, suddenly you are alone. Suddenly there is like no structure, no systems, no team. There isn't a clear plan, like there's no board to, because as a CEO, I had a board that wanted these goals. And there's no one to tell you what to do, when to do it and how to do it. And it's quite a shock. It's quite a shock. And then you are not representing a brand of a company. So you can kind of like, well, this is Heineken or this is whatever the company that I was working for. Now it's you. It's your name. Big bold letters, your name on the line.
Exactly. Yeah. That is so different.
Yeah, and it's so important to have support with a community, mentors and coaches. Like I did a huge mistake. I tried it on my own for over 9 months. And I can't change the past. But anyway, you realized you needed some help because the yoga was taking over your life and you actually wanted to do your coaching business. So you come into SOMBA, you jump into this crazy program called Kickstart. Well, SOMBA Summer School, in the middle of the summer. And you create your first free 4-week online course. And instead of just aiming for 20, you are convinced by us to aim for more. So eventually you got 70 people.
70. Yeah, 70. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what was your online course about?
It was about doubting yourself and not really standing up for yourself. So actually, I was kind of, giving my mess as a message out.
Yeah. So what you needed to do for yourself, you were doing for others. So stand up for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's always on a different level. Yeah. It's that kind of, standing up for yourself. It's like a life theme also in my life. Yeah. So my whole business is kind of built around that, standing up for yourself and for your own needs and wishes and visions and dreams. Yeah.
So did then this process kind of help you with your positioning? Because you said before that your positioning wasn't clear. Like, what are you known for? And now when I introduced you before this interview, we said you are a new beginnings coach. Is that how you kind of started to find your positioning?
Yes, it was. So the Boost Your Standing, so that was the name of my 4 weeks course, was, boost your standing. So stand up for yourself. But it was still like general. It was like, maybe standing up in front of your partner, standing up in whoever, like in relationships, just standing up for yourself and not doubting or making yourself small. And within that course, I realized that so many are like without vision and without, having exactly that issue in the professional field.
Yeah.
And so I realized that this is really neat, because so many were introducing themselves and were like, I want, I need standing in my job, and actually I'm not happy anymore, and I need to talk, and I want to build my career. And so during that course, I realized that there's really demand. And then, I had like only that base of 17. And as you were saying, and I know today that it's all really numbers game. So don't limit yourself if you're in Kickstart.
No, don't limit yourself.
Really go for it as much as possible. And usually, with my numbers, it would have made sense to say, let's offer a one-to-one coaching, which would have been easy also for me. But I had that thing in mind that it's like, I need a follow-up course. And I really also appreciate you, because you in that moment were saying, well, I'm usually saying one-to-one with that numbers, but Anna, trust your guts, trust your guts. And so I was trusting my feeling. And I was saying, and I mean, that was not even scripted. I was saying, well, I will have a follow-up course helping you.
Well, this is something I came up with last minute in SOMBA Summer School. Like, everybody's having these great 4-week online courses, and people are so being transformed. I think they want to buy something. So I came up with the upsell idea. And yes, I said, if people have less than 100 signups, you have to go for one-on-one coaching. But if your gut is really telling you can sell a group program, well, Anna trusted her gut feeling, and you sold 6 spots.
Nice. Yeah, I was saying, well, I have 6 spots, so limited spots.
You said up front you had 6 spots available. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, I did. And then I actually sold 7 spots, because I like coming in at almost the same time. I was like, sure, you can join.
And what was the price of the upsell?
Pretty low compared to today, but it was, I think, 750 euro.
750 euro. Yeah, but that's still fine. 7 times 750 is pretty decent. Yeah. And
it was.
Yeah. So it was boost your standing, like stand up for yourself, like get the courage to be yourself or something. And then the upsell, what was the name of that program and how long was it?
That was master your standing. So I said, well, we are going to master
now
that
you have just started, and now you're going to master your standing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And it was a 6 weeks course.
6 weeks course. Mm-hmm. Wow. So, still, because we have a lot of women charging too low prices, I think 750 was still pretty good for those beginnings. Yeah. But give us an idea what a course like that would cost today.
So today it's a professional and a regular, and it's around, so the professional is like 2,500 and the other is 1,800.
1,800.
Yeah.
So what do you mean professionals, or what's the difference?
Not professional. It's just called professional. It's like included with one-to-one coaching.
Okay. So there's a VIP version and a regular version.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the VIP version is 2,500 and the regular version 1,800. So you have more than doubled the prices compared to 2018.
And it's not final yet.
Of course not. Of course not. Wow. So, and you basically are still selling the same programs today. Yes.
Yeah. During Master You Standing, I really felt, okay, this is actually really my own, I'm fulfilling here my purpose.
Yeah.
It's like helping women finding their true north, you would say in English, I think. Yeah. So what are you here for? What a part of expectations, everyone is having on you. Can you stand up really for, or allow yourself to dream big, to allow, even though, if you are like in a life cycle where maybe there are kids and, you're in corporate and all these expectations, can you allow yourself to just be white paper and start to dream like, and then really standing up to what you love and what you dream for, and first recognizing yourself and expressing yourself from the inside out, and then emerging that in the outside, then having really the standing to make your steps. And it's then even, sometimes I have my clients coming and they're sure about leaving their corporate jobs, and in the end they don't, because then they had a different talk. And
it's seeing yourself differently. So actually, we've even had this on my own team, that someone was about to leave us, and then we had kind of a coaching session with the team member, and she suddenly saw herself differently, and now she's still on the team. It is amazing. Sometimes it's just a viewpoint. Sometimes we've been looking at the situation from a more of a negative way, and actually realizing, hey, I'm actually in my dream job. I just didn't realize.
Or you have to pivot a little bit, and some things need to come in, and or you need to be more acknowledged, which also starts with acknowledging yourself.
But I'm curious about what happened with the yoga studio, because we started this conversation saying you were dancing on 2 weddings a little bit. You had a yoga studio, part of your passion. Sometimes we have a strong passion. Should it be a business? Should it not be a business? A lot of people are asking themselves that question. And then yoga was starting to take over. So if I would have followed you on Facebook 2018, I would see yoga, and I wouldn't realize that you were a coach.
Yes, exactly. That was a problem.
So how did you deal with the situation? Now it's several years have passed. What happened?
Actually, I understood, I received from you that that answer of my question. So how can I scale really my business? And you were saying, well, you need focus, Anna. You need focus. And looking really closely to my yoga business, it was becoming more and more exhausting, because we were kind of losing our room, and things were not going as easy as before. And I finally took a really tough decision for myself, because I'm a really committed person. I'm a real great
loyal person, just like myself. We're loyal and committed, and it's hard.
Yes. And also my friend, it was, we had a great time. Absolutely. We're really close and like really partners, like talking like several times a day. But I kind of really saw that I was going on like one foot on one horse and the other on the other, and trying to go gallop. I just knew that it's true. I had to focus. And so it was clear it needs to be on my business. my original business. Yeah. And so, I just took the decision, and then I talked to her.
Yeah.
Saying that I decided, and I have to really stand by myself now also for a while. So again, standing, to really expose myself on one focused theme. And and it was 19, it was the end of 19, and it was like a divine timing, because then Corona came and the business was anyhow.
Wow.
So
Wow. Well, that's a bit spooky, but wow, what a great timing for you to step out of that business.
Yeah. And it was hard. It was really emotional.
Of course.
And also a lot of clients, and they were like, "Why? What are you doing?" And I was having a great time.
It's like a divorce, really. No.
Yes. Yes, it felt like it. Yeah, and I really skipped all my classes. I had a lot, also in companies, and I was like really like 100% cut off. But then after a few months, I was like, I was missing my yoga teaching. So I kind of took a few groups. So I'm doing a little.
So now you do it as a kind of a side thing, more of a for your passion. But you don't own a business. You don't run a yoga business anymore.
Actually, it's kind of integrated in my course. It's I'm meditating, and I'm because it's important to build the bridge from being only in your head to coming in your heart and feel yourself. And that is not really going on. It's with Kickstart and just doing it. But it's, it's a moment where too much overthinking, it's not working. So
I get into our body and do maybe yoga. So I think this helps a few people watching and listening. We might have a passion. We might be thinking about two businesses, or two ideas are equally important. We have to pick one, but we can maybe integrate it. Just like I do retreats for my Red Circle members, and I can travel around Iceland, which is one of my passion. You can add yoga and meditation into your coaching program, but it's not the main thing. It is not the reason why people buy the program or work with you, but you get to do it because you love to do it. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes, and it's an important part. I was frustrated because in yoga, it's transformative, but it's not really happening if people can choose to come 1 week and then maybe like 2 months later they come again. And I was like, I knew I want transformation, so I'm really transformational coach. And it was not enough with like those classes. It's working on retreats. Then the field is open, people come and want changes and want transformation. So here it's working.
Exactly. So you did Kickstart in 2018. You moved into Momentum, which is our next program that some people choose to go into. And last year you made 130,000 euro. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what feels next? You still want to scale more?
Yes, I want to scale more. Yes. Actually, I was kind of raising prices for Master Your Standing. And for a long time, I started with 6 places, and it was really exclusive. And now the group is around 15 people. More or less. And but it's scalable. It's scalable. So I kind of, the mindset needs to grow as well. And I realize I will be also that transformational coach also with a bigger group. So that will be possible to scale it even further. And I'm excited to do this. Yes.
Yeah, great. Let's see if we have any questions. I think another Anna is asking possibility choosing yoga and coaching. How did it happen that coaching was finally chosen as the core of your business? There are so many coaches. Well, it sounds like there's a limiting belief in that question. There are so many coaches. Why did you pick coaching? What do you say to someone who say, oh, there are so many coaches, why should I become a coach?
I believe that there's also the demand is getting bigger for people who need support in mindset or in like changing, being transformed. And yeah, there are also other coaches, you know, who are coaching purpose, but it's always like a mixture. It's also depends on your own story. It's you know, what you're bringing in the table, what people see in yourself. So I think it's, yeah, all of us are needed. You know, sometimes it's exactly my expression of what I see or what I feel that you are feeling or seeing yourself in me. And someone else needing someone else.
Yeah.
So,
there is never too many coaches, Anna, and I think this is just like a limiting belief that, oh, there's so many. Let's say, does Elon Musk think about there were so many car brands out there, there's no space for Tesla? No, he didn't. Luckily he didn't, because Tesla, why, was the most sold car in whole of Europe. What if he hadn't started his car brand business just because there are so many car brands out there? It is the same with coaching. Yes, there are a lot of coaches, but it doesn't mean there isn't space for you. Actually, there is space for you, and you can take that space and you can tell your story, and people will be attracted to you, just you. They will not be saying, oh, I want to go to Anna or Sigrun. No, they want to go to you because they resonate with your story. And it could be something weird. Like in my case, I know it's because I'm from Iceland, maybe, that just like is this one seed of like, oh, I want to listen to her. And in Anna's case, oh, you were running a yoga studio before. Oh, that's why, you know, it could be a little thing in the story that makes us pay attention. And then, of course, we get to know the person better before we take a decision. Yeah.
exactly.
Wasn't the subject too general, like boost your standing? Or how did you pick your ideal client?
Well, it was directed to women, and women just, limiting themselves or doubting themselves in important situations. So that was kind of so are you doubting yourself? Are you making yourself smaller than you are? Usually you are kind of self-expressed, but in certain situations you're playing small. So that was kind of the situation.
So it's more like you can have a name for your course, but you explain who the course is for, and that's how you narrow down and make sure your ideal client.
I was also kind of adding to it like the good girl, you know, always being like keeping up to expectations. So that was also kind of in the explanation of
So Zusa is a former marketing business development top executive in high tech, on the coaching track, had a yoga business, Feldenkrais. Definitely want to integrate everything. Yeah, but you have to pick one umbrella, and then you can add your methods into that. But you have to pick the reason why people. So Anna, you're doing coaching. You're coaching individuals, and basically B2C, and they are in a life transition versus like limiting themselves. Maybe not in life transition always, but limiting themselves. And so you're just using yoga, meditation, and other tools that you love into your program. So I think that's the key here from this interview. So Anna, I want to just say thank you. I'm so happy that you decided to jump into SOMBA in 2018 and create those amazing courses that you're still selling today. What a testament of SOMBA Kickstart and what's possible, creating the foundation for a six-figure business and more to come. So best of luck, Anna.
Yes, it was such a breakthrough. So everyone who's still doubting, go for it.